Mental illness job seekers blog. I'm worried this might violate the subreddit content. If so, I apologize. I was wondering if anyone would appreciate a blog that help job seekers with mental illness find work opportunities that accommodate their particular difficulties. I have an opportunity to write creatively as part of my current role and wanted to do something close to my heart and meaningful to the community. I understand that many members of those communities I'm seeking advice from do not regard their conditions as an illness, which I respect. Apologies for any offense. Please do this. Well on my way. I think this is a really good idea. I hope it works out. Yeah, do your stuff. If you're just having to do something, if there's something on your mind, fucking do it. Just fucking do it. And yeah, period. And that's fucking it. Do it. Make something, create something. What do you want to have? There's a lot of things that I would like to have, or you would like to have, certainly as well. And we should go for these things. We should go for them and we should make them, because somebody else isn't doing it. So we have to do it. And we have to create it. And we have to change something. We have to alter the game. We have to whatever. If there's not somebody else that is doing it, then we have to do it. Just a little bit of a thought and a little bit of it's not a rant, but some motivation here on Saturday. I love the weekend. I've really got to love the weekend since I am working. I really, I don't know if it is something unfortunate, you could say it is, but yeah, I'm pretty pumped about the weekends. This is something that's for sure the case. And I don't know what I'm going to do today. I actually wanted to do something, but now I'm not going to do it, I guess. So I might just have another workout. I might just do whatever. I'm then going to head out with my little sister and to the supermarket because today's my cheat day and I'm going to eat some fucking good shit. There's probably going to be some movie in the evening and I probably also have to work a little bit. Not probably, but for sure have to work a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I just enjoy my weekend. And tomorrow I'm pretty pumped to do something with a few buddies of mine. And yeah, I like that. I enjoy that. Today I learned pumpkins evolved to be eaten by woolly mammoths and giant sloths. Pumpkins would likely be extinct today if ancient humans hadn't conserved them. Very interesting indeed. It really indeed is interesting. But yeah, it will cost your employer far more to replace you than it would to give you a raise. So ask firmly. I think it depends. I think it depends on you, whether you're doing a good job or whether you're doing a bad job. Because of course, if you're doing a bad job and if you're just shit, then it is probably going to be better for your employer to replace you. If it is not the case, if you are actually relatively good at whatever the fuck you're doing, then it is probably not really the case. But it depends on you. It depends on who you are. It depends on what you do. So yeah, still ask firmly and ask in a very distinct way. I think the next episode is going to be about communicating, I guess, because your tonality, how you say things, and what words you're using, and so on and so on and so on, do really matter, or it does really matter. In a sense of, if you're not doing that, meaning, if you're saying something in a wrong way, then this could definitely 100% lead to not that of a nice outcome. It could lead to something not being that amazing. It could lead to so many negative things just because your tonality isn't on point, just because you have used the wrong words. But of course, there's always a sender and a receiver. So you might be really, really thinking about what or why and how you communicate things. But in the end, it could also be the case that your receiver, so the other person that you're talking to or the other people that you're talking to, are just receiving it in a different way. This is communication. This is what it is. And it is a fucked up thing in the end. It really is a fucked up thing. So yeah. Communication is so, or communicating per se, is so a fragile thing, because there's so many reasons and ways how something can go wrong, so that the other person that you're talking to is not understanding you correctly or properly or at all. Yeah, just a little bit of a thought around communication and communicating. I think it's very interesting, and I absolutely love communicating very, very, very distinct and with a plan, quite, and also especially when it comes to tonality, you can do so many things, and I've been talking about it before, but of course if I'm talking like that, then it is completely something different than if I'm talking like that. It's this is a little bit more thoughtful, this is a little bit more calm, this is a little bit more something else, and this is completely something different. I don't even know if this is actually tonality, to really be honest. And being like, you seem to be a pretty ugly motherfucker. This is something else than, you seem to be a pretty ugly motherfucker. The second one is way nicer, at least at my point of view. It's a bad example, I know, but anyway. Teachers of Reddit, what is the most depressing thing a student has told you about their home life? I fucking wonder. A student who I built trust with gave me a letter that detailed the horrific experience he had a few years prior of rape and molestation by his family members. I checked with admin and he was no longer in that environment and thought they didn't know all the details. It was true that he had experienced those things. He just wanted someone else to know, I think, and it is something I'll never forget. You must be a gem of a person for a student to trust you. I wish I could tell my teachers, but in my country, people don't like mental health issues, and the CPS, our country CPS, doesn't even take care of the kids. I wish I'd just sleep and not wake up. My teachers don't know because I always joke and laugh around them. If you see a student that laughs or jokes too much, there is an 80% chance they hate existence. Perhaps one day you can be the adult you needed for another. Perhaps one day, that's actually making me a little bit emotional. Perhaps one day you can be the adult you needed for another kid. Take care of yourself, Paul X. Definitely the fucking case. It was my first year teaching, and the holidays. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know why. But I hope it is working. Not apparently, but I just really truly hope. Fucking deny, I don't need you. It was my first year teaching, and could you please shut the fuck up? It was my first year teaching, and the holidays were approaching. A second grade student asked me why Santa visits everyone else's home but skips hers. On Christmas Eve, my father and I played Santa. We dropped off gifts at their home for each child, with, of course, the permission of the legal guardians. Parents were in jail. The parents were in jail. This made me tear up, honestly. I had the same bus driver as my three older siblings when I got to elementary school, and my mind had reached the same conclusion. Santa always forgot. She got me one of those soft sweatpants and matching hoodies sets in my favorite color. I saw her in high school. Somehow she recognized me, and I remember giving her a hug and sobbing at 18. When I was in second grade, my principal called me into his office, and one day just to ask me how many siblings I had. I was confused, and when I told my mom, she just assumed it was a question for the free lunch program. But at Christmas Eve, my principal dressed up as Santa and dropped off 2 trash bags of toys. My mom cried because she and my dad had no money that year. I promise you, those presents meant a lot to those kids because they meant so much for me. Keep doing what you do. I'm a janitor, and again, the teacher left us out as per usual, lol. They trust us more than you on every level. Some of the most depressing things I've seen is the way teachers treat their students. Yeah, I would say this as well, to some degree. His parents would only give him a pillow and blankets for his bed if he had all A's. I contacted the school counselor, and it was true. along with the fact that all of the food was locked away and he was only given specific amounts per day. Per DCFS, this was not considered abuse. I made a deal with him that as long as he was doing his best, his grade would never drop below an A. He teared up. This is amazing, and this is some shit you can't do as a fucking teacher. This is really amazing. Like, I really appreciate that. By the way, I don't know, I feel really good at going through that. I think there's a lot of things we can learn from that, and I do think that it is actually an amazing format for the podcast. Per se, okay, reading other people's experiences and, this can really give you perspective. It can really give you perspective in a sense of, okay, just don't be that asshole. Don't be this person. Don't be like that. Don't. The best I could tell, he only had 2 sets of clothing that he rotated every other day. Sadly, that's also true for me and many of my mates. But yeah, it is not as depressing because we are from a rural area in third world country. Some of my friends under 18 are married, have babies. Some go to work in different states and countries to work for low wage, less than $8 per day, and leave school altogether. Not my stories, but my mother's. She is a retired teacher in a poor country. Her list of horror stories that broke her heart over the years. She is my hero. Girl being forced to marry at 14, my mom getting into a fight with her family and making a deal with her family to let her finish high school. My mom buying supplies from her own salary because the family prioritized the son's education. Probably for a girl then. A student confessing to my mother that she got raped by her uncle and got pregnant. In my culture, these things mostly end up when the girl is shamed or killed. She managed to get this girl help. I will not get into details, but the girl finished school and uni. Fucking amazing. Let's fucking work, motherfuckers. Students coming hungry to school. I don't think it is normal hunger, but really intense fucking hunger. Students hiding in the classroom because their father pimps them out. My mom's greatest sorrow was that she couldn't help everyone. This is insane shit, motherfucker. Sometimes I forgot a significant portion of the world has it so much worse than I do. Puts things into perspective for me again. Yeah, definitely. This is also one of the reasons why I think it is an amazing thing for me to go through that. Even though I'm very sorry for all of these people, but it shows me and it gives me perspective in honestly times where I'm not feeling very good, where I'm having a lot of trouble with myself, basically, to be honest. I don't really know why, but I am in a very certain place of, well, it's strange. It really is strange, anyway. I grew up like this. I wasn't allowed to eat if I didn't have straight A's in my report card. I told my science teacher about it, and since my dad worked overseas a lot of the time, my mom acted as my guardian. She flat out denied everything, and she was so fake nice in front of everybody. Then we would go home and I would receive a hefty belt buckle spanking for being a liar. I was a kid who'd ask my classmates to let me hang out in their home, and I'll make sure to bring snacks so they won't refuse. One of my brother's friends was sent into a youth home where kids went when their parents didn't want them anymore, because his mother said he was a problem child. He ran away and my brother brought him home. He was maybe 14 at the time. He stayed with us a while in our home. He was just a normal kid. His counselor and mother finally learned where he was and came to speak with my mom. Apparently his mother was making faces when my mother called him nice and respectful. I keep thinking that maybe if she had shown him some love, he wouldn't have been a problem child with her. My mom taught in a very low-income school and every year would go to the dollar store and pick up Christmas presents for all of her students. She knew that many of them didn't get any other gifts for the holiday. She also had stories about how they needed to be careful when constructing standardized tests, because there were students who might answer a question like, what do you do when you're hungry, with go to bed, or similar things. I have a friend in education, and they do a secret Santa for the most at need kids and the siblings of those kids. She says you can tell the ones who won't get anything on Christmas Day as they save the gift to open at home. Likewise, they also have issues with standardized tests. One English essay topic was to write about a recent holiday with an example that featured a flight, hotel, the pool, etc. Many of these kids had never experienced a big holiday like that and were confused by the question. I had one young man who had strange round markings on his arms I couldn't figure out. Looked a little bit like Vasin scars. Figured maybe some sacrification thing from his culture I didn't know about. Live in a melting pot country. He had a pretty good relationship, so I asked him. Nope, cigarette burns from when he was a baby that had grown up with him. Fuck, man. Who the fuck looks at a child and decides to put that smoke on them? Fucking pricks. Yeah, makes me angry as well. Really fucking angry. And I just dearly hope from the fucking bottom of my heart that you're feeling good and that you're having a good life. I have certainly had a good life. And I don't know, like I really hope that with this and all of the other videos, and especially when it comes to the podcast, I really do hope that somebody finds it and thinks, well, I don't know, I just want people to feel understood. I just want people to feel good. I just want people to see in themselves what they never could. And with that being said, I'm willing to end the episode here. So thank you very much. I wish you the best health, of happiness, and all success. And I also hope that you're going to be reminded or remembered as a person. Well, I don't actually know. I don't want to. I just wish you the best from the bottom of my heart. And please be nice to other people. This is my message for today. Gonna see you soon. Bye bye.